In today's episode, I thought it might be fun to bring you along for a little sneak peek into my current personal morning routine. Nothing fancy, really. It's just these simple rhythms that are helping me start the day well in this current season of my life. Between motherhood, homemaking, and trying to make time for myself and the Lord, mornings have become pretty sacred around here, and we like to take them slow and be intentional. So I'll be sharing what's working for me currently and what my mornings look like, so let's dive in. Welcome to the Modern Homemaker Mom podcast. I'm your host, Jynae Schmidt. If you found yourself here, it means that you're ready to break free from overwhelm, create a peaceful, well-run home, and finally live with more structure, margin, and stability. Here you'll find practical rhythms, real-life systems, and faith-filled encouragement you need to simplify your home and reclaim your time so that you can show up fully for the life God is calling you to. Let's get started. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into what my morning routine looks like, kind of step by step. I mean, it obviously varies from day to day, but for the most part, this is kind of the routine that I follow. So the first thing I do is I really try to wake up before the baby. I know this is kind of touchy for some women because we need our sleep. Like, I get that. And there's been seasons where I wasn't like this. There were seasons that when I was pregnant, I was actually sleeping till 9. When I, first had Oakland, she was sleeping longer and we were spending more time awake at night. So then she would sleep longer in the morning. So then she was my alarm and I was waking up maybe around 8. But now I'm trying to get up before her since she's on a pretty consistent routine and she's going to bed at 7 the night before and she's waking up around 7 usually. Sometimes she's waking up between 6:30, 7. It varies really, but for the most part, she's waking up between 6:30 and 7. So I'm usually getting up around 6 to 6:30, sometime around there. And the reason I like getting up before her is it just creates this space for me to start my day quiet, to start my day with peace, alone with God, and just not like getting to my daughter's needs instantly, like getting woken up by her calling for me from her crib. It's me waking up slowly and being able to throw some water on my face, maybe go outside, get some fresh air, just time to myself first thing in the day. Now you may be wondering, like, how on earth do you actually wake up before the baby? Well, my first tip would be not to sleep with your room totally dark. We've always done this, but more recently I was like, you know what? I think it's actually good for our bodies to wake up kind of with the sun. And while I'm waking up around 6, it's bright long before that. My body just kind of is naturally waking up around 6 because I sleep with our blinds open. Now, after I wake up, I have some quiet time in my devotional, and this is just a few moments for me to connect with God, to get in my Bible. It's some quiet time. Oftentimes, my devotional time gets interrupted because Oakland will wake up around this time. Like I said, like I'm sharing my routine today, but it's different every single day. There's some days where I have 45 minutes in the morning before she wakes up. There's other days where I really only get a couple minutes and she hears me wake up and then she's up early as well. So this is going to be different every day, but this is kind of just the overall structure of how it is. So I wake up and the first thing that I really try and do is get in my devotional and in my Bible. And if Oakland gets up around that time, I go and get her. I bring out her and her blankies and we sit on the couch together, and she's usually kind of snuggly when she first wakes up. So she'll snuggle me while I'm reading my Bible, and it's nothing like crazy. Like, I'm not sitting there for an hour. Yes, that'd be nice sometimes, but in this season of my life, and if you're a mother, you understand how you're trying to fit in time with God and every little spare moment you have throughout the day. So sometimes that means 10 minutes doing a devotional. Sometimes it's a 5-minute devotional, but at least you're prioritizing that time. So it's wake up, get in the Word, have some time with God, some quiet time in the morning, that slow quiet time with Oakland as she wakes up. She's just turned a year, so she's starting to get more busy. And after the devotional's done, we go to the kitchen and I start making breakfast. I often make scrambled eggs from our own chickens. We have a flock of chickens in our backyard and they're free range, so our eggs are amazing. They're so flavorful. I could never go back to store-bought. But pretty much every day we're having scrambled eggs. Not every day, I guess, but for the most part we're having a lot of scrambled eggs just because they're always on hand, and I really like to prioritize protein in the morning. So I will make us breakfast, and At this stage, we're both still in our pajamas. I wear nightgowns, if you can imagine, kind of vintage nightgowns with lace. That's kind of what I like to wear to bed. So I'm walking around the house in my nightgown, maybe a house coat on or a cozy cardigan or sweater or something to go over top, and Oakland will be in her high chair eating. Breakfast really doesn't last us too long. I'd say about 30 minutes we spend on breakfast, and then I like to take after breakfast time to go and get ready for my day. And to me, it's really important that I make time and prioritize time to get myself ready, because I've done it both ways. I've done ways where it's like, okay, quickly throw my hair back, put on some sweatpants, just like do the bare minimum because maybe the day's full and I don't feel like I have time to get ready. But the thing with that is then I go throughout the day and I feel the way that I look, if you know what I mean. Like I feel slumpy, I feel sluggish. And I don't like that. It affects my mood. It affects the way, because my mood is maybe down or I'm feeling not so great about myself, that affects the way that my home feels, because I am a reflection, or my home is a reflection of me. And as women, as homemakers, we really do set the tone of our homes. So I think it's really important to spend a little bit of time, if you can, just getting yourself ready. You don't have to get yourself dressed up to the nines, but just wash your face, even a little bit of mascara, some blush. I'll put concealer under my eyes because I have dark circles as a hereditary thing, and it just makes me feel better. I get dressed and I try and wear things that make me feel good. Clothes that don't make me feel good, honestly, I try not to hold on to that, because what's the point of keeping something that I'm never going to wear? Because when I wear it, I feel slumpy and down. So I really love wearing dresses. I love wearing skirts. Do I wear them all the time? No, because it's just not practical sometimes. And I only have a limited collection of dresses and skirts because it's something that I'm slowly curating over time. But I can say the days where I wear a dress or the days that I'm wearing a skirt and a nice blouse, I feel so feminine. And like I said, what you wear is really going to reflect in your home and how your home feels. When I feel put together and I feel very beautiful and feminine in my dress or in my skirt, it just makes my days feel smoother. And when I feel like, okay, I look presentable, my hair, I didn't maybe necessarily have to spend an hour getting ready, but I've done something with my hair to the point where I feel like, okay, like I feel like I look pretty good, like I feel put together. And I think this is really critical. It's a really critical part of my day. And while I'm doing this, Oakland is often at the bottom of my feet. Our bathroom's not super big, so sometimes it gets a little like I'm tripping over her, but she'll be playing at my feet with toys, or she's kind of at the stage now at her age where she's getting more independent with her playing. So she'll go around the house and she'll find toys and she'll bring them to me, or she's going through cupboards and making messes, but she's entertaining herself. So that's kind of what that looks like. Imagine this. You wake up and know exactly what needs to happen to keep your home running very smoothly. Not because you printed another routine that's not going to last, but because you've built rhythms that actually fit your life. No more scrambling, no more cleaning one room while another one explodes, no more starting strong and then falling off by Thursday. Instead, you can know exactly what to clean and when, you can tidy your space without it stealing your entire day, and you can actually feel proud of your home and peaceful in your heart. That's the kind of ease that my course, the Modern Homemaker Method, brings. This course was built for women in the thick of it, with babies, toddlers, nap windows, maybe you're homeschooling, and the daily unpredictability of real life. Inside this course, you're going to learn how to declutter without getting stuck in the weeds. You're going to organize in a way that works even when life is messy, and build your cleaning rhythms so that they don't fall apart when plans do. Because when your home has a rhythm that works, you can rest. You can connect. You can be the calm center that your family needs without constantly feeling like you're playing catch up. Friend, it can be really simple. Let me show you how. Join me inside the course Modern Homemaker Method and build a home that works for you, not against you. Head over to jynaeschmid.com/modern homemaker method. That's jynaeschmid.com/modern homemaker method, or the link will be for you below in the show notes. You will be amazed at how quickly peace can start to flow when your rhythms do. After we're ready for the day, now I'm going through my daily reset chores. Now, these are just simple tasks that bring order. They're the chores that I literally do every single day. These are things like making the bed, loading the dishwasher, opening up the windows to air out the house, get some fresh air going through. Just things that are kind of on repeat, but it really makes the space feel like it's reset. I'm putting things away that maybe got taken out during the first hour or so of the day where it's maybe there's toys on the ground, so I'll pick those up and put them back. There's actually an entire lesson in my course, Modern Homemaker Method, where I walk my students through the setting up process of this daily reset cleaning rhythm, I like to call it. I mean, we go through the daily reset, we go through weekly cleaning rhythms, we go through monthly, like all the things. So if that's something that interests you, definitely check out my course. You can find that in the show notes. But these are just the chores that I do kind of on a daily repeat. It just makes my home feel more put together. It feels like we've reset the space and then we're ready to move on to the next thing that I do, which is now I'm tackling my weekly cleaning theme of the day. So I won't get into it too much in this episode, but basically for every day of the week, I have certain focused tasks or themes, you could say, to direct me on what those weekly cleaning rhythms are so that everything gets touched on, nothing gets missed, and my house is kind of on this, basically we're cycling through all the different chores and it all has time, it all gets time allocated to doing it without making me feel like I'm cleaning all day or feeling overwhelmed, like I'm not staying on top of things. So after I've done my daily reset, those things that get done every single day, now I'm shifting into my weekly cleaning rhythms depending on the focus of that day. So for example, Mondays would be my floors. So that would be a day that I am vacuuming the house and then I'm mopping the house. So that would be my chores of that day. Again, if this is something that interests you, the way I go about this, I dive into this so much deeper in my course and I walk you through the whole process. We've got checklists in place, plug and play templates so that it takes all the guesswork out of it for you. So if you're ready to take your cleaning rhythms up a notch and basically set it up so that you don't have to keep thinking about where you need to be pouring your energy. Instead, we're setting up a simple rhythm that just basically is all laid out for you. And then when you wake up in the morning, you know exactly where your focus needs to be when it comes to cleaning your house specifically right now. Like that's just one section of my course is the cleaning rhythms. Then you'll definitely want to check out my course. So again, depending on the day, sometimes I will break up this weekly cleaning chores that I do and I will go to the next thing that I'm doing in my routine, which is feeding our outdoor animals. But sometimes I'll do all my inside chores and then I'll go out to the animals. It really depends on how early I was up that day and how ahead of the day I got, because some mornings are slower. I mean, you're a mom. If you're listening to me, you're likely a mom and you know how some days can just drag on. And then there's other days that surprise you and you got through your chores really quick. So some days I finish all of my house chores before I go outside to feed the animals. Other days I don't want to push the animals too long. I usually try and feed them no later than 9:30. So I will sometimes have to break up the weekly cleaning chores that I'm doing that day. So like in the example I gave you for Mondays, if I'm cleaning the floors, I might vacuum and then wait to mop, go outside, feed the animals, and then come back inside. So outside we have chickens, we have cats, and then we have a large guardian dog. So this is actually Oakland's favorite part of the morning, and she loves going outside. I'll say, do you want to go outside? And she gets, her eyes just light up, and she goes over to the door, her little run. She's learning how to run now. She recently, in the last 2 months, learned how to walk, so now she's learning how to run. So she'll go over to the door, and she gets so excited to go outside because she just loves watching the animals. So her and I will go outside. I put her in a little wagon and we go feed all of our animals. And at the time of this recording, we actually have 41 little meat chickies that we're raising. It's our first time doing it. So in our shed, we have these 3 big containers, each full of little meat chickies that are growing up. They're about 3 weeks old right now, and soon they'll be going outside. So it won't be an in the shed thing, but that has been adding to my daily chore time with the animals. So I would say if I had to put a number on it, it takes me anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes, depending on the day, to do the animal chores. So like, what does that look like? Well, the first thing I do is I'll feed the cats. That's just a couple dishes out on the deck. They are on self-feed, so I just fill their dishes. Then we go out. I take care of the meat birds. We're filling up their food, giving them fresh water. They're really messy, so I'm changing their water like 5 times a day right now. And then we go over to the coop, and that's where all of our laying hens are. So they like to free range during the day, so I'll let them out of their chicken run, and they run out and they start gobbling the fresh green grass. They just love it. And I'll feed them their food, which we soak overnight, and collect any eggs that we have, and also feed our dog Annie, and she gets her food. And actually, I also forgot to mention at the time of this recording, I recently, a couple weeks ago, put 12 eggs, actually 13 eggs under one of our hens that went broody. And broody, if you don't know what that means, it's a hen that wants to hatch out eggs. So she was ready to sit and I put eggs under her. And over this last weekend, so just over the last 2 days, the eggs started hatching. So super exciting. We have, I think, 9 babies I've calculated, and they're so cute and so small and so fluffy. So I've been spending a lot of more time outside in the coop just snuggling them because they're so small, like so small, so fluffy. So our animal chores sometimes takes up a lot of time in the morning because Oakland and I just love the outside time. We love the fresh air, and Oakland loves watching the animals. So that's what we do. We come back inside. If I had to finish any of the chores, I'll try and finish that up. But for the most part, by the time we get back inside, it's around 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's when Oakland typically goes down for her first nap. Now, when she goes down for her first nap, that is usually the time that I use as my work block. I'm trying to work only 3 days a week. So I'm working Mondays to Wednesday. When I say work, it's just working on my online business. So for example, I'm recording this podcast right now. It is 10:30 in the morning. Oakland is currently sleeping. And so this is what I would do in one of my work blocks. I'm recording podcast episodes for you. I'm writing emails. I'm planning out Facebook group posts, all the things that revolve around my online business. So that's what I'm doing during her nap time so that when she's awake, I can be more intentional with her. Obviously, she's not going to nap forever, so that will adapt into independent quiet time that she'll have alone in her room when she's not napping anymore, and I will still have time to work on my work blocks. That's something that I plan to kind of shift into once she's not napping as much, but for now, my work blocks line up with her naps pretty good. So she's sleeping pretty much for an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. So when she wakes up, that pretty much wraps up our morning, and we have lunch together. So we often have lunch outside. We have a back patio, and we'll sit in these little lawn chair kind of things. And again, her and I, we love being outside, and the chickens are often around us. And of course, Annie's close by to see if there's any crumbs to pick up that Oakland is spilling or purposely spilling on the ground. But that pretty much sums up my routine. Again, it changes from day to day, but as a rule, that's typically what it looks like in our household at this season of our life. I mean, you see all sorts of, morning routines or evening routines or whatever, routine, day in the life of a stay-at-home mom. There's all that kind of stuff all over the internet, but we really are constantly shifting our routines through the different seasons of life that we're in. So something that I'm doing right now, in 3 months from now, it's probably going to look completely different. But it's always kind of fun to hear what people are doing and how they go about their day. Sometimes it can be inspirational. I think the main takeaway that I could give to you today would be giving yourself slow, intentional starts to the day is really important because it really sets the tone for the rest of your days. I know for me anyways, if there's any days that I've rushed getting ready or I've rushed things or I had to make an appointment, like last week I had to be at the dentist at 9:30 in the morning, which for some people might not seem early, but for me, that's a lot. That's hard to get to because it was also a 45-minute drive for me. So things in the morning, I like to have slow mornings, and when they feel rushed, well, it does affect the rest of my day. So if there's anything that you can ever try to do is just be as intentional and as slow as you can. I mean, yes, life is busy with children and whatnot, but I think there's little shifts and simple moments that you can do in the morning that you can be intentional about and slow your day down because it really sets up your day, the rest of your day for success. Because, the morning is, especially those first little early time in the morning, it's not always about just being productive every single second of your day. It's about stewarding your home and your heart well, even through those simple sacred routines of your day. So that's it for today. This is the first time I've shared any kind of personal routine on the podcast. And if you gals like it, maybe I will share more in the future. So definitely maybe leave me a review. Let me know if this was resonating with you or if you enjoyed that, because it's kind of the only way that I can know if you're enjoying what you're listening to here. So those reviews mean so much to me. It's just a super simple way to help me understand if you're enjoying the show, and it also helps other moms just like you find these conversations that I'm sharing here. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. I appreciate you more than you know, and I'll see you next time on the next episode of the Modern Homemaker Mom podcast. Did something in today's episode encourage you? If it did, would you take a minute to hit subscribe and leave a quick review? It's such a simple way to support this show and help other homemakers find this encouragement as well. And if you're looking for even more support in your homemaking journey, come join our free Facebook group. Just head over to bit.ly/home routines. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you in the next episode.